everybody? Welcome back to the channel DealTech 101, aka Black Mantles. I discuss information technology, also known as IT. So, in today's episode, I want to briefly just go over with you all a couple of things regarding data breaches and kind of explaining to you of how hackers and bad actors can potentially steal your information and how you can pretty much stay safe. Now, imagine you waking up one morning and your bank account is empty, or you may have something that's a virus or something installed on your particular computer. Like, what would you do? How did that even happen? Did you drop something like this, like a USB drive off? Maybe this was on your keychain, you dropped it, somebody got your information and decided to try and get your personal information, or was it you clicking on something online and you getting your data taken and things like that. But there's different ways that people and these bad actors can definitely get your information, and a lot of these will basically show up in news clips. You may get letters in the mail saying a company has been breached. They want to make sure that your information is protected, so they may have some kind of lawsuit or something, that class action lawsuit that may have happened. But people tend to have things hacked, such as their social media accounts, whether it be like their Facebook account, their Equifax account, or Target. Like, those have been some major breaches that have taken place. Now, when you look at a data breach, you have to understand that it happens when an unauthorized person is able to gain access to sensitive data, such as your passwords, your credit card information, your emails, and things of that nature that circle around of how your daily life is actually going. For example, you may not be aware of somebody could be behind you in line that could be sniffing out information on a Wi-Fi network, getting access to your laptop or your personal device. You have different things like that, and it's about the same analogy as you having a weak lock on your home. The burglar could just turn and kick the door in, and your door is unlocked and they have access to everything in your residence. So imagine if you leave your front door open, a burglar can walk right in. The same thing can happen online when you don't protect your information. You have to make sure to protect your password or protect your account with secure passwords. And secure passwords is basically like, you don't want to use anything that's like 5 to 8 characters, but you want to make sure that you increase that number, of course, well over 10 characters. If you do alphanumeric, like, make it something that's going to be very, very hard for somebody to guess. You wouldn't want to do birthdays, anniversaries. You don't want to do kids' names, your dog's names, your favorite place to eat. Now, you don't want to do stuff like that. And even people more now are getting into passphrases, so they're able to use those to justify the need of very secure passwords. Now, always check your email for suspicious links. Sometimes these can be quite difficult because a lot of bad actors are using AI to craft these beautifully crafted emails that look so real and legitimate in that case, from like different companies. So make sure that you have that information, that you know that, and you're able to look for that you're getting messages from people who you recognize that's going to be sending you messages. Now, there are still people out there today I know who use passwords like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You definitely don't want to do that because people can break into your stuff. Now, on your computer systems, you want to make sure it's updated. Like on the Mac, you constantly get reminders to update your computer. So you can always do that. Always update your Chrome, your Google Chrome if you use that. Always update your browsers. Now, what you don't want to do is, if you have a Windows computer, for example, with this being in 2025, most of you should probably have Windows 11 about the time of this video. If you're still running Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, and stuff like that, you're probably going to end up getting some very, very, probably have a lot of vulnerabilities on your system that you need to actually patch and get that done. Now, public Wi-Fi networks, I've never just been a fan of using public Wi-Fi networks, especially if you visit Starbucks, coffee shop, something like that. Definitely be very, very careful with that, because sometimes bad actors can be sitting right within there pretending to be patrons, and they are getting ready to actually run some scans to see who they can find as a target as they're going through this. So you definitely want to keep that in mind with those, but never enter sensitive information. Like, if you go to the coffee shop, you got your little your Amazon Fire tablet, your iPad, you're just catching up on the news or listening to music, that's one thing. But if you're going in there and you're checking bank statements, you're trying to do your taxes and stuff like that, you don't want to do those kind of things in a coffee shop. Now, most people would then get onto VPN. They may use a particular VPN, virtual private network, and it will give them a different IP address on their computer where they're able to remote into their workplace or get much a little bit more secure. But I would still be cautious of that because nothing is absolute in terms of technology. Now, when protecting yourself, you want to make sure you have strong passwords with two-factor authentication. 2FA just means that it may send a text message to you or may have you to scan a QR code before logging in to make sure that it is you. On Apple products, you know that they're going to send you a text message that's going to have about, I believe, 6 numbers just to make sure it's going to show you a map of where the person is trying to log into. So you want to make sure you have that. Definitely double check before you click stuff. You don't want to be in a position where you accidentally click something so fast, being in a hurry, that you totally miss everything that is going on. Now, keep your devices updated. Your computers, your phones, any kind of electronic device that you are actually interacting on, make sure it is updated. If it's a company computer, check with your local IT department. Make sure that you're good. If you're a big business, make sure that your IT department is helping you, or if you got an MSP that's running your and controlling your technology, make sure that you are good with that. Just you definitely want to make sure that you stay updated and avoid using public Wi-Fi networks or use a VPN associated with it if you can. Now, you can check your information. There's different searches out there that go out and scan and look for your personal information to be sure that everything looks, good and look okay. So make sure that you keep that in mind. Now, if you don't remember anything else, cybersecurity is not just for tech experts. I'm even very cautious whenever I look into the cyber stuff, and it's definitely for everyone. We have to basically be able to protect ourselves, and a few small changes can protect your money, your identity, your privacy. We have to be able to look at all of this, and I'm much more into telling people a lot more about cybersecurity because a lot of people have no idea what is out there. They're still trying to figure out how can I get to a specific point to where I can be 100% protected. And nothing is absolute, nothing is 100%. I can just as well be hacked just as well as anybody out there who is not very, very interested in the technology space. Where what I'm trying to make sure that I do is make sure that you have access to the information. A lot of people definitely tap into the comments. I try to respond as quick as I can to provide some little bit of advice. But in terms of what systems to use, I tend to kind of keep that to the minimum at best because I'm not endorsed by any of these companies, but I don't have a problem with just getting you started and showing you, hey, go out and look for this specific thing, and then kind of go off from that and do your research in that regard. So that way you have the best opportunity to get the best absolute thing that you probably need within it. Okay, so make sure that you all definitely tap into that particular aspect of this. It is so important that you protect the elders that are in your family. If you got a mom, dad, it's a little bit older, they're not pretty much like tech savvy, they're going to ask you questions. Make sure that they're not clicking on stuff. A lot more people are getting iPhones now than anything. I've seen a lot more senior citizens getting more iPhones than anything. And what's so funny is even sitting beside them, sometimes if I'm out and about, they'll have the information up on the screen. I can see their apps and everything that they have. And sometimes I would kind of slide over and tell them, hey, get a screen protector for your phone, something that you can put, on the screen. So that way, if somebody's sitting beside you, they're not able to read the information that is listed like right there on your screen. Like something like that small could really help, because if you're in the airport and you got your screen right there, people can actually look at it and actually see who you're transacting with. If you're trying to transfer money through your bank accounts, they can see that information. So most definitely, people like, listen, subscribe to the channel. DevTech 101, aka Black Mantle. Look forward to bringing more technology content to you all soon.